0, 0, because there's nothing added. Up here, see how we got added and subtracted? That puts the center someplace else. If there's nothing added or subtracted, we're right at 0, 0. Now, what did we do with this 9? We counted sideways 3. And from the center, we started at the center and counted sideways 3. Why were we counting sideways? Because the 9 is under the X. Now we're going to count up and down 2. And what did we call these 4 points that I'm connecting? Those are called vertices. And this axis, which is the long axis, is called the major. And this one is called the minor. So we did all that already. Now, we are going to be looking for 2 focus points. And the focus points are always located on the major axis. I have no idea where they are, so I'm just going to pop them on here. Those big purple points are my focus points. Just like with the parabola, I would be able to tell you what those were if I knew how far to move, right? Now I'm going to move the same amount each direction. I just need to figure out how far that is. In an ellipse, the distance from the center to the focus is the square root of the big denominator minus the little denominator. So when I write it all down, it looks confusing, but it's really very easy. In this problem, the distance from the center to the focus is the square root of 5. And how did I get 5? I took 9 minus 4. So I'm going to start right here, and by the way, these are almost always radicals, so you just have to get used to working with them. The distance from here to here is the square root of 5. So if I start at 0, won't this point just be root 5 comma 0? And this one would be what? Negative root 5 comma 0, because I just backed up root 5 from my center. That's it. That's all there is to it. Let's look at this one. Where was the center of this one? We already did all this part. Where was the center of this one?
1, -2.
At 1, -2. And that told me to count sideways. So we said if we needed graph paper, we could certainly use it. We did all this yesterday. Then we counted up and down 5. So this was 1 comma 3. Okay, mine is very oddly shaped because I ran out of room on the bottom. But my major axis was how long? 10. And my minor axis was how long? 8. And where do my focus points go? On the major axis. So somewhere on the major axis go my focus points. I am not worried about where you put them. I am not grading your graph. You're going to fill in the answer blank just like you did on the quiz. Just put them on there somewhere. Those are your focus points. Now I need to figure out how far I got to go to get to that focus point. Center to focus. What did I just tell you? How do we find that in an ellipse? Be the square root of 25 minus 16. 25 minus 16 is 9, and the square root of 9 is 3. So what does that mean? That means you're going to start right here, and you're going to go up 3. So if you start here, and you go up 3, where will you be? 1, 1. What if you go down 3? Watch it, 1, -5. So your focus points are 1, 1, and 1, -5. Maya?
Do you do 25 minus 16 because you don't want it negative? Or do you put the 25 first because you don't want it?
Yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. You want to subtract them, so it's the big one minus the little one. Now we're ready for a brand new problem. So let's look at C. We're going to do this start to finish, so we're going to find everything. All right, here you go. Somebody get me started. Where's the center? -3, 0.
How did they know that? Where did they get that?
Somebody tell Ron how we knew the center was at -3, 0.
So you always just choose the first thing.
-3. How come this one's 0? There's nothing added or subtracted. This center was at 1, -2, because you had something added and subtracted to both of them. This one is at -3, 0. Okay? Now, what do I do with that 9? I go 3, which way? Right and left. So 3 right and left would put me at the origin and at -6. Everybody paying attention? What does this 9 tell me to do? Sideways 3. How about the 16? Up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so what would these points be? What would this point be right here?
That'll be -3, 4.
-3, comma 4.
And then -3, -4.
-3, -4.
I'm on fire now.
Now I'm going to connect those. And there's my ellipse. Those 4 points go in the blank called vertices. There's 4 of them that go in the blank called vertices. So here's your center. Here are your vertices. Abby, how long's my major axis? Major. Major's the big one. So I went up and down how many, Abby?
9.
Abby, how far up and down did I go? Look under the Y, that's up and down. How far did I go?
8.
I went up and down.
Oh, no, I don't know.
Abby, what does the 16 tell me to do? Okay, take your sweater out of your mouth. What does the 16 tell me to do? Go up and down how many? Think of it as like a radius.
4.
Yep. So I went up and down 4. So what is the total length of that then, if I went up and down 4? 8. So your major axis is 8. What about your minor axis? Well, you went back and forth 3. So what does that make the total distance? 6. Okay, got it? Those should be easy questions for us. We go up and down 4, so the length is 8. We go sideways 3, so the length is 6. Now, where do I put my foci? on the major axis, which means they're somewhere on here, right? Now, we need to find this distance. How far up and down do I go? In an ellipse, center to focus is found how? What do you do in the equation? Subtract the denominators and take the square root. So did you get root 7? So you are going to start right here and go up root 7. Start at your center and go up root 7. So if you're going to start here at this point, what would be the coordinates? -3 comma root 7, perfect. We're going straight up. So x is -3, root 7. What about down here? We're going to go down root 7. -3, negative root 7. All right, there's one more. I want you to try this one with your partner, with your neighbor. Take it a step at a time.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to put the vertex on there.
I just got it back from the altar. In the picture it looks big, but I just got it back. I mean, it wasn't like, no, it's a lot, but like, it definitely was like noticeable. There's like places where, like my shoulders and like right here. Yeah. I thought you guys were gonna do that all the time, so it happened like.
Olivia and Taylor, you guys it sorted out?
Oh, mine was, so long. Mine was 0 and it was like dragging on the floor. I was like
They're in the direction.
so we don't have to write it separately.
Up and half, down half.
Oh, you have to fill in the blanks.
Up
0.
half because of 0, 2.
Well, it's not good. Is it like revealing?
Wait, you did
Like, I like stitches, like I ordered some dresses online, like not prom dresses, just like regular summer dresses or like velocity and stuff. And I ended up going in there to get my dress and taking those and we all.
You need to simplify radicals if they simplify.
You could finesse it.
Very short, but like, you know, text the same, everything's the same, that's why I like it, they're just pretty. I get your
Okay.
I'm just French.
Do you have your center? What did you say your center was? 0, 2? What did the 25 tell you to do?
Left to right, 5.
Left and right 5. And we got 5 because that's the square root of 25, right? So we started at 0, 2, and we backed up 5, and we went forward 5. So did you get negative 5, 2, and positive 5, 2?
Yeah.
Now, what does this 1 tell me to do? Up 1 and down 1. Don't be confused. Once again, how come you went sideways 5? Because that's the square root of 25. Well, now we're going to do the square root of 1. The square root of 1 is 1. So we go up 1 and down 1. So I have the point 0, 3 and 0, 1. The rules don't change just because it's a 1. You just take the square root of it. Okay? Now, how long is my major axis? 10. Everybody get 10?
Yes.
How long is my minor axis?
2.
2. Went up 1 and down 1. Now my focus points are going to be on the major axis somewhere. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to figure out how far back and forth I have to go. Center to focus.
325.
In this problem is the square root of 24, or 2 root 6. So I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to add, or go forward, 2 root 6. So what will be the coordinates of this point?
5, 2, 6, 2.
2 root 6, comma, 2. Starting here and going forward 2 root 6. What will be the coordinates of this point? Negative 2 root 6, comma 2. Right? Now you had 3 ellipse problems in last night's homework. Did anybody try those and find, I'm talking about the ellipse problems, anybody find one that gave you issues?
You can't follow it up like that. Slap.
All right,
Great question.
then here's our practice quiz. This is our practice quiz. Okay, buddy,
Zachary, did you talk to my brother's girlfriend at Sense? Sarah, did you talk to her on the phone? He said you talked to her. Yeah, that was my brother's girlfriend. Yeah, he said you're not.
Your brother's girlfriend?
Yeah, you talked to him on the phone, yeah.
On Monday, we'll have a little quiz over the ellipse, and it's going to look just like this.
Oh!
You didn't just hear Tyler being stabbed or something?
Wait, you got
Oh. He's just moaning. He just does that from time to time. He gets cramps.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Here's my equation. Okay, let's see if we can get this done. If we can't, we'll finish it on Monday before we take our quiz. Where is the center of this ellipse?
1, -1.
1, -1. So everybody has that blank filled in correctly, right? The center is 1, -1. Now we're gonna work on the vertices. So we're gonna look at these numbers, and what are these numbers going to tell me? That tells me 2 sideways. So I'm gonna count 2 units sideways. Where would that put me if I started at my center and went 2 units forward and backward? 3, -1, and -1, -1. Start at your center and count back 2 and forward 2. Now there's 2 more vertices, there's 4 altogether. So that blank, that V blank, is gonna have 4 points in it. This one and this one. And now how am I gonna get the other ones?
Up 5, or up 3.
Up 3, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, what will those points be if I'm counting up 3? 1,
2,
2,
and then
1,
-4.
perfect. So those are your 4 points that are gonna go in the vertices blank. So you got 4 points in the vertices blank. These 4. Now, let's do the major axis, because that's easy. How long is your major axis? 6, because you counted up and down 3. How long is your minor axis? Because you counted back and forth 2. On Monday, we are going to finish this before we take our quiz. So hang on to this practice quiz, please.
I got you, boo.
Your homework, I updated everything on the website, so your homework is posted.
I got you, boo.